looking at my woman, if they ain't looking, I don't want that girl. If they ain't looking, I don't want it. If they ain't looking, I don't want it. If they ain't looking, I don't want it. Girl, come through and let's do what we do in your imagination. When she don't even wanna talk on the phone no more, cause she rather be texting me. She don't even wanna hang with the girls no more, cause she rather be next to me. She don't even be...
Hey, what's up everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Music Monday. And just as a reminder, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do that before you finish watching this video. And today we are talking about Eric Bellinger. Now, I will start off by saying this. I pride myself in pretty much knowing about what's current, what's hot in music. You know, I may not like all of it, but for the most part, I'm pretty abreast on what's going on in the music scene. I will say, though, I was totally sleeping on Eric Bellinger, not purposely, but just really had never come across any of his music, at least not the music that he sings. For those who may be in the same boat with me and didn't know who he was before this video review, Eric Bellinger has written some huge hits for artists like Tank, Chris Brown, Usher. I mean, the list just goes on. And he's been featured on some big names too. He has a song out with The Game, just countless artists that he's been on tracks with, and he's more than likely written some of your favorite songs that you maybe heard on the radio or maybe played in the club. He's had a chance, or hand rather, in writing those songs. And if I had to compare his style to anyone, I will say he has his own style. He can't really be compared so much to other artists. But if you mix The Weeknd, the singer The Weeknd, and I would say probably Usher or maybe a Trey Songz, if you mix them together, that's probably what you would get is Eric Bellinger. And another thing about him that's interesting to me is he's really kind of the male version of Carrie Hilson. For those that don't know or may have forgotten, when Carrie Hilson first came out with her first solo CD about, I guess maybe that was like 7-8 years ago or so, she was really already known as a songwriter. So even though to the public it looked like she was this new artist, she wasn't, because she had been writing songs for people for years. Even writing songs for people like Beyonce, Sierra, also some big names that she's written for. So Eric Bellinger, I think his time has definitely come now, and he has a lot of music out there that I just didn't know about. He has his Born to Sing volumes, which I've not checked out yet, but I will after hearing The Rebirth. The Rebirth, that CD was actually released last year, so it's a little bit of a throwback today. But what's fascinated me the most about it is that it has so many tracks. There's 32 tracks on it, and y'all know how I feel about that. My motto is keep it short, keep it simple. I think most artists go wrong when they go above 12 tracks on a CD. That's just my opinion. Usually, when you have 12 or less, you really try to pick the cream of the crop that actually goes on the CD. But I gotta admit, even though he has 32 tracks on here, for one, I appreciate him only charging $10 for the CD, so you're definitely getting your money's worth there. But as far as the music, you're getting your money's worth too, because there's some really great music on here. He samples some pretty big songs. The song that's in the intro, you all remember that same big sample that Chris Cross used in their hit single Jump. Also samples the Blackstreet song Before I Let You Go on the song called Kiss Goodnight with Kid Ink, and big name collaborations on here. He's got Tank on this CD, even John B. We haven't heard from John B in years, and John B is on here. 7th Streeter, I mean, the list just goes on and on. He can definitely hold his own too on his solo tracks, and he has a new single coming out, well, it's already out rather, with 2 Chainz, and it's called Focused on You. And I'll be posting a clip of that video for Focused on You. Get a chance to see which R&B singer that we haven't heard from in a while is playing as his leading lady. And speaking of leading ladies for Eric Bellinger, if you don't know, he is married to Megan Good's little sister, Lamar Good, and she's fine too. So must run in the family. But they're expecting a child. They may have actually already had the baby now because she looked very pregnant in their maternity photos, which have gotten a little bit of backlash actually since they posted them. People are saying that she shouldn't have posed topless and she's pregnant. And, you know, I don't really see the big deal in it. People do it all the time. But it's interesting because all of this is kind of building hype for his upcoming album, which is called Cuffing Season. So I'm assuming the single he has out now with 2 Chainz will be on that album as well. But for now, check out The Rebirth, his current CD. Again, you all may have had it, and maybe I'm just alone and behind by myself. But hopefully not, and hopefully you all get a chance to check out his CD. And also, XXL Magazine, who really, we know XXL in their inception and in the beginning for covering mostly hip-hop artists. But in case you didn't know, XXL is doing their freshman class of 2015. And it's the 10th edition, and they're taking nominations from fans. So you can go and vote. I'll put the link inside of this video so you can vote for Eric Bellinger. It's him against maybe 20 other artists or songwriters that we may or may not have heard of before. So these are artists that are potentially being pushed to the forefront, and basically you're voting on which artist you think deserves a cover. So I went out and voted for Eric Bellinger, and once you hear his music, I'm sure you all will too. So check out The Rebirth, and make sure to check out today's post. And also, I have another post coming up this afternoon, and I'll just give you a little hint about it. And it's basically what gospel group has Brandy collaborated with. Yes, I said Brandy, the R&B singer. She has joined forces with a gospel group. This song is actually a little bit of a throwback, I guess you could say. It's been out since around September, October of last year. Again, I'm just not coming around to it, so I don't know what happened there, but I missed out on this group. I definitely will be checking out their music, but make sure you click the link in the bio for that as well to reveal which group Brandy collaborated with. And also, speaking of groups again, ATLA is a new group from T-Boz, from TLC. She's been putting together a girl group searching through this project that she has called Project Next, where she was finding girls to be in a girl group, groom them, kind of go back to the old school way of, you know, these long dance rehearsals, maybe singing through songs several times, pretty much the same kind of routine that TLC had to go through when they first got in the music business. So she found 2 girls, and it was going to potentially be a 3rd member, but I think it's just going to stick at 2, which I think is good because we haven't really seen any big R&B female duos in a long, long time. And I think the closest to that, people will probably say maybe Salt and Pepper. They have a little bit of R&B and rap, but you also have Spinderella, so they technically were never a duo. But I think of artists like Changing Faces, who we haven't heard from in a while. I thought they had some really hot music, and really would be cool to see them get back together. But for now, ATLA, they don't have any music out at the moment, but they will have a new single debut on April 19th, where they're performing at T-Boz's charity event, an acoustic night that she has that's benefiting sickle cell disease. And also Raphael Sadiq will be there, and possibly Eric Bellinger himself, because he's co-written and he's featured on their first single called Something Real. So there's another project that he's working on in addition to his new album, Cuffing Season, which will probably drop this year. So be on the lookout for that as well. And thanks everyone for tuning in to Music Monday, and I'll see you all in 2 weeks.